This is my outdoor gym setup. And it's been very handy. So I've got a few bits of equipment that I accumulate over time from friends and family and that I bought myself. But we're not out here actually to do any workouts. The reason I'm out here is because it's sort of the starting point of my train of thought of how I got to what I'm going to be doing, if that makes any sense. I've set myself a goal to try and get to a specific fitness requirement by December of this year. And it all started here with me working out more. But then I was also started looking into diet and calorie counting, which has led me to learn a lot. Now, as I'm sure you know, calorie counting really starts at the grocery store, at what you purchase and bring home and prepare. The next major or crucial point of calorie counting and watching your diet and everything like that is in here, in the kitchen, which is an absolute mess at the moment. Now, over the past month that I've been doing this sort of exercise training and learning about counting calories and stuff like that, I've absolutely fallen in love with cooking. Absolutely love it. And on top of that, I've learned a lot too about food. So if we ignore let's ignore macros for a second. There's not really a thing that is healthy and unhealthy food. Like, as long as it goes through your digestive system and doesn't cause you immediate harm, then it's not really unhealthy. It's either caloric dense or not. For example, like I need an example. Come up with an example quick. What's a good example? Let's say a good old classic KFC Zinger box compared to just a regular sandwich. Meat and cheese, maybe a bit of lettuce and stuff in there as well. There is a place where the KFC Zinger box makes more sense to eat because of how more caloric dense it is and how much lower you may be in both the macros and the energy levels that it provides for you. But unfortunately, we live in a world, at least here in Australia, where we're very, very fortunate that we have too much food. Like, obesity is through the roof, right? It's mental. So why do we have such caloric dense foods? Why is that the case? And often it is because they're the ones that taste better. However, there are workarounds, which has led me to this. This is oat fiber. I originally, when I was going down this route of what I'm doing, I was looking for cellulose flour because I like the idea of what I'm about to make being all made from like a wood and like coming from trees. Just in my head, that sounded like a cool idea. Anyway, I couldn't find any unless I wanted like metric tons of it, which I didn't. So I looked on eBay and this is what I found. Oat fiber. It doesn't actually come from the oat that you've seen that you're eating in oatmeal and stuff like that. Instead, this is from the husk of the oat, which you can eat, but you can't get any nutritional benefit from. So why do I have it? I have this and a few other ingredients so I can make a 0 or a low calorie chocolate chip cookie. I really want to try and make a cookie that tastes like a cookie, but has nothing in it. Like, just, you can scoff it and it won't matter. Why this hasn't been done, I don't know. Like, it just looks like I've gotten a replacement for every single thing that's in the cookie to where I can make it only be a couple of kilojoules, but it hasn't been done before, and I'm no genius, so there must be a reason for it. And from what I've researched and from what I've conversed with the almighty ChatGPT, I might just be making a laxative, because when your body doesn't have, like, if you've got a whole bunch of stuff in your body that it can't, use, it's often just like, well, let's just get rid of it. So let's just go through first what we actually have. So oat fiber, that's our flour. Starhelium husk, that's going to act as our binder to hopefully keep everything together. We've got cocoa powder, 0 sugar version, so we're hoping that to give some colour and some flavour as well. We've got baking soda to do all the baking soda normal things. That's nothing out of the ordinary. Monk fruit sweetener, it's basically like sugar, but it's got like none of the drawbacks of being sugar. And then some sugar-free chocolate chips, which I also didn't know you could get, but turns out you can. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna add all these. Might do a few different variations of how much of each we add, and then hopefully we get a cookie out of it. All right, let's start with the first batch. This one I sort of made, well, I didn't make any of it if I'm being honest. This one's mostly asking good old faithful Dr. ChatGPT, what does it think I should mix all of these as? So I'll do that, that will be probably my base, and then I might probably adjust bits and pieces. If I'm 100% honest, I'm not familiar with how these things work or interact. I don't think I've ever baked anything other than damper, which I don't know if that's baking because it's self-raising flour and I just chuck it in a pot or something in the fire. So this is a new experience for me. We'll see how we go. I need a bowl. If you hear anything going on in the background, that's what it is. Satine and Peanut, the cat, are attacking each other and playing.
Dirt.
Before we put these in the oven and make our second batch, I first want to research what each of these things do. Mainly the baking soda, psyllium husk, and the oat fibre. I don't know what each of those components do. I don't know how they relate to each other. So I'm going to do a little bit of research and find out where I can adjust it to add more here of what each, and then go from there. Done a little bit of research. I just Googled something. Anyway, I reckon we'll add, that feels grainy and I'm afraid it's going to turn out grainy. So if I decrease the quantity of this, the psyllium husk, it should be airier, and then be, yeah. So, they're the original. The original we'll put at the bottom. Modification I'll put at the top. I probably should have cleaned the door for you so you can see a bit better. Right, so as we wait for those to bake, I thought I'll just start doing some sneaky little maths. Let's just keep in mind for a second that the average daily intake for a male is about 8,500 kilojoules, right? Varies depending on exercise and stuff like that. But let's just approximately ballpark that. That means sort of each lunch and dinner you're supposed to have is around 2,000, 2,500 kilojoules each main meal, leaving you a bit left over, 2,000 odd kilojoules for snacks in between, right? A chopped chip cookie of 100 grams, depending where you get it from and what you get, that can be anything from like 1,800 to 3,000 kilojoules, right? A massive chunk of your diet. All those cookies, all right, in just the first batch that we've made, all of them together, if you ate the whole thing in one sitting, I haven't weighed them all, I don't know how much they are, they all come together as 728 kilojoules. That means hang on, let's figure it out. 91 kilojoules, let's just round up, 100 kilojoules per cookie, 100 kilojoules. That's nothing considering how big they are. And like, we can make it lower. The big thing that gives us so many kilojoules is the chopped chips. Although they've got zero sugar in them, they got a whole bunch of other stuff in it. We could potentially reduce it further, but I think we start here. Let's try them. I'm really, really interested to see what they're gonna taste like, how they're gonna feel, texture and everything like that. From there, let's then see how our body reacts, how other people react, and see if they're really as good as they're sounding, because 100 kilojoules, that's mental, 100 kilojoules. It appears I have just made balls. I was expecting them to sort of flatten out a little bit more. I mean, they're not ready yet. They've still got a bit of time to cook, a few minutes. I think I should have flattened them out. I was expecting them to sort of deflate a little bit. I made balls. Get to make a baker out of me. Alright, let's let them rest for a minute. They're squeaky. I think it'd be harder. I might need to let it cook longer. Now, it hasn't been long, but you can't have these. It's got chocolate in them. No. Hasn't been long, but I'm growing impatient and I really want to try them because they smell pretty damn good. So I'll grab one of each. I'm going to grab the smaller one because I'm still worried that the big ones aren't cooked inside. Let's give them a shot. Ah, it's not cooked. Not quite there, unfortunately. I think maybe I wonder if it's too late to flatten them now. Shall we try again? These have been sitting for a lot longer this time, so I think they're going to be ready to go right out the back. These ones look the best. And these ones not so much. They sort of look at it right there. I'd like to weigh one of the cookies. 21 grams. So that presumably 5 of them. So that's 100 grams. And a 100 gram cookie is like, say, 2,500 kilojoules. And that is about 500. I don't know, it still looks a little bit doughy. The outside looks absolutely fantastic though. This one's worse. That one we modified is worse. That is for sure. It's like way grainier. I still think these probably need to be cooked for a little bit longer, to be honest with you. I wonder if I did the reverse of that one, would it make them like this? I halved the psyhelium husk in this one. What if I 1.5 times it in this? There's so much sateen fur in this. So, double the sweetness, potentially add more of the binding thing, the psyhelium husk. Let's give it a shot. Why is there potatoes in my oven when I put cupcakes in there? Not cupcakes. I didn't put cupcakes in there. Why is there potato? Why have these ones inflated so much? That's so, like, they... Oh my god. I'm really interested just to split it open. Alright, you ready? What abomination have I made? It's weird that it's not cooked as well. Like, this has been in the oven longer than any of the others. It was, I think, nearly 45 minutes all up. And it's not cooked. Tastes better. It's a lot sweeter. Texture's way off. It's like a bread now. Right. Let's make another batch. Oh, I think I owe you a medical update. It's feeling pretty alright. Up until those last potato batch, whew, I don't know what they did to me, but my body didn't like them. I just chugged down like, I don't know, 1.5 litres of water and then, yeah, feeling better now. But yeah, body was not happy with those. I've got a feeling that this is going to be like a fool's errand. I can tell you I'm not too keen to try these. They have not turned out very well. Or at least they don't look like they have. This might be quite a waste of time and money. Anyway. It's interesting it's gone cakey again. It's not gone hard. Look, honestly, not that bad. It's not a cookie. I don't know what it is. It tastes a lot better though with all that extra sweetener. I don't know where to go from here. Quite frankly, this hasn't worked with the 3 other mess ups as well. This one's by far the best taste, but it's not got the texture. This first one we did, that was far closer to the texture, but it was still like grainy. Like it was like sand. I'll be honest, I was going to let this idea pretty much die, or not die, just sort of shelve it, like maybe come revisit it once I knew a bit more about baking or something like that. I don't really know. I just thought I'd leave it for now because it hasn't really worked out. But I haven't, and that's because I left the cookies out overnight, and I was thinking, oh, I'll retry them in the morning, you know, let them cool down, set up properly and everything like that, see if they're any different, see if my mind's changed. Well, I forgot about them. And what ended up happening is I had some friends over. They found them and they tried them and then they started asking about them. And we had a whole bunch, a whole range of different opinions and feelings on them. Some were positive, some were a bit like, none were negative though. Everyone thought they tasted slightly different, which I thought was a bit odd. Some people said they tasted like nuts. Some people said they tasted like a cookie, just not very sweet. Some people said they didn't even taste like chocolate. A real mixed bag. Some people even liked the texture of that third spongy one better. Some people liked the last one. Some people liked the second one or the first one better. It was a real range. Like it was quite the spread. But that's made me stop and think. That's made me reconsider what we're doing here. And I originally set out to go make a 0-calorie cookie because I thought it sounded good. However, my original thought wasn't to make a 0-calorie cookie. It was, what if I could make binge-worthy food lower in calories or 0 calories so they fill you up still, but you don't have any of the drawbacks of gaining the weight. When you think of binge-worthy foods, I don't really think of cookies. I think about this. A packet of chips. This is what I think of. When I think of binge-worthy foods, I think of these. Chippies, had like just a packet of crisps, a packet of chips. That's what I think of. Now there's a reason I've chosen this one at the moment. Red Rock Deli honey soy chicken. That is like my favorite chip. I've chosen the honey soy chicken for a very specific reason. I'm thinking instead of making a cookie, let's make a chip. Because chips, the reason I don't end up buying them, especially now when I've said that I'm on this whole health kick thing, is they're extremely caloric dense for how little volume they are. So my original thought was, why not just replace the potato, which is a big portion of why it's so caloric dense, with like a really similar root, right? Another hearty vegetable that I could maybe even boil and turn it into like a Pringles can or something like that. So how it's like a mashed root instead of, you know, a normal baked or fried or whatever chip. But then I thought, maybe it's going the wrong way. What if the flavoring was more catered to what the substance is, what it's based on. And that made me think of this. I reckon honey soy chicken flavoring would go amazing on a tangy green apple. But then I thought, why stop there? We've got the green apple, why not the red? So we'll do a red apple. But then I thought, oh,
that's not that interesting, and it might not work. They're both the same thing. Let's try something different. Put a capsicum. Oh, so we'll try capsicum. That's a hardy vegetable. Hardy vegetable. What else is there that's a hardy vegetable? Well, this one I think is a bit out there. This one I don't know how it's going to turn out. A carrot. So we're going to try that. We are going to make potato chips from not potatoes, but from a carrot, from a capsicum, and some apples. And we're also going to try and make our own seasoning. So I think first, let's chop everything up. I'm going to do a few different ideas and a few different ways we're going to chop everything. I'm going to keep the apple. I want to try and keep the skin on because I think it'll just have a good little look to it. That will be like the outside of the chip is where the skin is. Capsicum, I reckon we're going to do like a French fry. So we'll cut it up into fine little, you know, French fry looking sticks. And the carrots, I think we're going to do like a banana chip. So we're going to cut it more along that way and try to keep it. That probably will look most like a potato chip, except orange. So let's start with that. Everything is chopped up and equally by weight separated into 3 separate bowls. One for baking, one for air frying, and one for dehydrating. Dehydrating is going to take the longest. It's probably going to take nearly all the day to do, so that will probably be at the end to try. But what we're doing now is I'm getting the oven up to temperature. We've got to lay out everything on the oven trays. We're going to have a bit of an issue here too. The oven trays that I've got, they're too small, but they're too big to where you can't fit them next to each other on one level, so it doesn't fit properly in the oven. Anyway, it just means it's going to take longer. Similar issue with the air fryer. Air fryer is quite small as well, so it's like we're going to have to do one fruit or vegetable at the time. That's fine, we'll get through it easy enough. In between, while we're doing that, we're going to have to make the seasoning. But first, I reckon let's get the dehydrator started because that's going to take the longest. So I'll move all this out of the way. Right, here's everything that we hopefully need to make our seasoning. I'll be honest with you, some of the stuff was harder to get than I thought because I'm not doing it in a big batch, like I'm only getting, you know, a few 100 grams or whatever. You think grocery stores, and there's so much stuff in the grocery store, you think you can just grab anything, but apparently not. Getting, like, for example, this honey powder, for starters, like, I didn't know that was a thing, honey powder, but anyway, hard to get. Same with soy sauce powder, and what was the other thing? I got MSG. You can't find much of it. We're gonna make a batch. I don't know how much seasoning I'm gonna need for the chips, so I'm gonna try and overestimate. I don't really know, I've never done something like this before, so we'll figure it out together. What I'm gonna do is try and just put it all in and then wrap it in Glad wrap and make sure it's ready for when the chips and stuff are ready. I'll do the air fryer stuff very last once this is nearly finished because that's gonna take the least amount of time and I wanna try and make sure everything's, you know, as fresh as it can be. So let's start with making this so it's ready when we need it. Tastes like honey soy chicken. Let's see how this tastes in comparison. It's not as sweet. It is different. It's more soy sauce. This tastes more like soy sauce, which I don't mind. I love the taste of soy sauce. But like, this tastes a lot sweeter. This almost tastes like it has sugar on it, which I didn't even think to put in. Yeah, the third ingredient is sugar, and then the second ingredient is glucose powder. I wonder if I should add like that monk fruit seasoning to it. So yes, I think halve this, because this is ridiculously strong, and try again. Things have happened. Everything's dried out. The capsicum probably could have went for a bit longer, but I mean, it worked. Similar result when we baked it in the oven and when we put it in the dehydrator. The only real difference is on the chips. Well, they're all chips, aren't they? On the apple, they burnt a little bit, like on the skin and stuff like that. Whereas the apple on the dehydrator it just looks like shriveled up apple. So I think the dehydrator is the way to go. I didn't end up trying in the air fryer because I reckon we're gonna get a similar result. Honestly, I think the issue we're going to run into, and it's very apparent with like carrots, right? When I think of a carrot, I don't think of carrot flavor. I don't really think carrot has much of a flavor to it. It's either sweet or if it's off, it's bitter. This
This little chip is the most carrot tasting thing I've ever had. I presume because we've sucked all the moisture out and we've just left what I imagine is just the sugars, it just is like, it's not diluted. So it's like a really strong, all of them are the same, like they're just really, really strong flavors now. So I reckon that's gonna be the biggest downfall. And that's probably where this isn't gonna work, is because it doesn't, like a potato just doesn't taste like much of anything, and it can just adopt the flavors. Whereas I think carrots and apples are gonna still taste so strongly of carrots and apples that I don't know if it's gonna work. I was expecting to experiment a little bit more, mess around with making different seasonings and the like. But I don't think this is better than potato chips in terms of energy density. As a matter of fact, it might be slightly worse. The seasoning that we're using is too caloric dense and we're applying too much of it. But this hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at all. It hasn't been a waste of time, but it hasn't worked. Apples are more caloric dense than potatoes. I thought with removing the oil, I don't know where I got these numbers from. Oh, what a disaster that all has been. So look, these taste great. I was like, this is a genius idea. Why hasn't anyone else done this? Turns out there's a reason. Is that recording? No, it's not recording. Oh, it is recording. Hello. These are some cut up apples that I didn't make in the air fryer. Out of everything I've made, these are the best low calorie snack.